Hola, bom dia. Carl Munson here with a Good Morning Portugal show from expatsportugal.com. And beneath this effervescent exterior lies quite a tired fellow, I have to say. But what a busy weekend. Has everybody been feeling that? And a busy week to come. Few things to tell you about, but I know we've got a busy lady waiting for us in the green room, in the virtual green room. It needs to get on with some visa processing work and talking to all the lovely clients of Hey Migrant, Assessoria Migrant. It's Gilda Pereira, everybody. Here she is. How are you doing this morning?
Hello, good morning, Carl. How are you?
Well, as I was about to say, I was going to moan about being quite tired, but you've distracted me, which is great. And I suspect, like me, you've had quite a busy weekend as well, or have you managed to have a little bit of a break?
Yeah, this weekend I had a little bit of a break because I needed to.
Yes, well done, well done.
Yeah, I wanted to start July in a more relaxed mood, so I can face problems in another way. So I took some days off. I took Thursday and Friday.
Very good.
Yeah, the first days of the month, so I could figure out how to sort out some visa problems that are getting more complicated because of the enormous amount of applications that we are facing. Yeah.
Yes, well, this is a national phenomenon, really, isn't it? And we're going to talk a little bit about that before you go, about Portugal's amazing net migration. And this is why you're so busy, and why we're all working together to meet this need and help people get to this country. Because we launched a new service on Friday, the Expats Portugal plan. There it is, Jerry there and Astrid standing behind me. I feel very protected with those two behind me like that. And it's been an absolute rip-roaring success, overwhelmed, inundated with requests from people. Thank you to everybody who signed up for that program. Really looking forward to working with you. So we're going to have a lot of fun. This is a heady and busy time, nationally, internationally. These are very interesting times in the world, and we're all going to work together to end up in the country that we love and want to be in, which is, of course, Portugal. Let's say hello to a few people this morning. Bon dia, hope all is well. I think that's because we started a minute late. Mike was possibly wondering what was going on there. And my July, there are New Year's resolutions. My new month resolution is to start at 9 and finish at 10. Okay, so we're going to have a bit of discipline round here. We're going to somebody. It's not going to be me, but somebody will be cracking it with. Maybe Mrs. M will do that for me. Lee McGrady here. Good morning, people. Lee was great fun on the Man Cave on Friday night, and an amazing cycle tour I saw on his Facebook page. He lives over there in where are we talking about? Aroeira, Costa de Caparica, that side of the water that you're on, Gilda, and cycling to the Lagoa de Albufeira. What an amazing beach that is. Isn't that a treasure as well? No one ever talks about that, do they?
It's not amazing. Anyway. It's really amazing, and it's not far away from Lisbon.
Yeah. That whole stretch of beaches is incredible south of Lisbon, and you can get to them just over the bridge, and you're there basically landing in Costa de Caparica, which is a bit kiss me quick and a bit touristy. But the further south you go, the more local and the more chance you can have of meeting somebody like Gilda a bit further south. Leah H is here. Hola, bon dia, alegria. As usual, I just love the opening. It does lift the spirits, doesn't it? Absolutely right. That whistling is rather good. Bon dia alegria from Milda as well. Hey, Milda, how are you? Good morning to you. Margarita Lopez, we're both here. Look, they're together. Andrew and Margarita. Well, good of you to tune in, you two. Probably like John and Yoko from your love in bed, I suspect, in Lisbon this morning. But don't want to pry too much. I know this is about visas, but regarding NIFs, do we need them for kids also? That's an easy one, isn't it, Gilda?
Yes, you need for kids also, otherwise they cannot enroll in school, kindergarten, health insurance, or public health system. The NIF in Portugal, when someone is born, they give you, when you make the registration, they give you the NIF straight away, because the NIF is needed for everything.
It
You
is the
can do anything.
financial,
Yeah,
yes, the financial DNA, isn't it, of Portuguese life?
exactly. Yeah.
There you go. So yes, that is the answer to your question, Mike. Get him a NIF. It's the gift that keeps on. It's not the gift that keeps on giving. It's the gift that keeps on taking, really, isn't it? Because it's a
Yeah,
tax
it
number.
is.
So Jim White, although we shouldn't probably call it that. Hola, bon dia, Gilda and Carl. Some hearts from Margarita. Stephen Wells, bon dia to you, Stephen. DJ's here as well, bon dia, Toros. Olia, bon dia, alegria. 2 days to sailing from Plymouth for Paul. Loads of people on their way here. Elra, good morning, everyone. Hey, Elra, how are you? Hello, Gilda. Regarding international travel insurance with medical and repatriation versus local private health insurance, will local private insurance suffice for the D7? Are you able to answer that one?
That's a very good question. It depends from the consulates. From the United States, yes, it is sufficient.
Okay, so that should work for Jim in Baltimore there. So people getting the gist of this. Gilda's here every Monday morning with a visa update, and people know what to do already, don't they? Phil Cooklin is here. Hola, bon dia, alegria from Phil. Hey, Phil, how are you doing?
Hi, Phil.
Greetings from San Rafael, where the sea welcomes you. This is Paul's third of these basically Algarve tourism copywriting efforts. The sea welcomes you with warm waters and golden soft sands with a gentle welcome breeze. What was it? The flowers opened to say hello. And there was something else as well last week. Very good. Have they hired you yet, Paul, at the Algarve Tourist Board? Dave and Debbie are here. Hey, how are you two doing? The Winells, bon dia. Margarita's here again. Morning, Lee. Andrew, oh, I see. Okay, reaching out to the rest of the community there. Fantastic. Hey, it's Jeff from Hit the Road Madeira. Jeff from Madeira. I hope you guys have a great week. Likewise, talking about you over the weekend, actually, Jeff. It was such fun talking to you recently. Hope to get you on the show again soon. But thank you for tuning in this morning from a wonderful Madeira. Hello, morning from Francis Joel, a rare name here. Thank you very much for saying hi. Robert Ryan Bondia from Cornwall, where it's peeing down. I think that's an English colloquialism, but you get the gist on that, Gilda. That's a weather report there. Bon dia.
It's raining?
Yes, absolutely. Cats and dogs. Cão e gato from the sky. Joel, good morning to you. Matushino, morning from South Africa. Let's have a go at this. Lonishwa Machinini. I hope I've done that justice. Can't wait for my consultation with Gilda in 2 weeks. Her team is quick with the responses setting up. Love the service so far. So there you go. And Deutsch. Good morning, Carl and Gilda. I'm sure I've got that wrong. Good morning, Gilda and Carl. We're just applying for our visa, says John Rooney. One of the requirements is proof of pension income. Will the bank statements showing the income suffice? Is that a good enough documentary proof there?
When I prepare my visa process, I don't think they're enough. I always ask for pensions statements or a pension check. It's good to have another proof besides the bank statements.
That's right. Get as much paper as you can throw. Several trees worth of paper. Bring it all along in a filing cabinet. Why leave it at home when you could bring it along just in case you need it? So there you go, Kazaruni. For passport section 3, this is very specific, Jim. Do you need to notarize the whole passport or just pages 2 or 3? Thank you. That is very specific.
I'll be so notarize the identification pages.
She is so good. I'm thinking Jim is going into such deep dive detail there. Section 3, pages 2 or 3. Gilda knows exactly what he's talking about there. Lena Strang is here. Bon dia from Silves in the Algarve. De Silves no Algarve. Good morning to you. Very nice to have you, Elena. Hola, bon dia from the Alto Minho. So back up north. What fantastic coverage you've got on the show this morning from Khadija Anderson there. That's lovely, the Alto Minho. Has the COVID vaccine situation affected the visas yet? Oh, the vaccines. Okay, so proof of vaccines. Is there any movement on that, Gilda?
Not yet.
Okay. All right. So that's yet to filter through. All over Europe, I suspect, in the world. Hi from Perth in Australia from SP. Hello, good morning, SP. Are there any quarantines on US people traveling to Portugal at the moment? Do you know of that? I mean, it's a bit beyond the visa situation, isn't it?
For you, not for the US people.
Marvelous, marvelous. Okay, we're going to look at some of your photographs in a minute. We'll work it. I mean, this is like what 12 minutes past 9 on a Monday morning, and Gilda has hit the ground running. Go easy on her, everybody. We're going to look at some lovely photographs that she's taken in the Alentejo as well in a moment. Hey, Gilda, when can we make an appointment to sort our residency card? Let's, Margarita, talk to the team, and I'm sure Francesca will sort you out with that. Hi, Gilda. Will we be able to pick up our NIFs and bank cards when we get to the Portugal at the end of the month?
Of course.
Of course, you can.
Send me an email. Then we make an appointment. I'll be there in person.
Be there. I tell you what, Phil, we want some photos as well. Okay, don't put the numbers. Don't show the numbers on the cards or beneath. But the pieces of paper and the plastic, hold them up with big smiley faces. Would love to see those selfies. Capricorn 12, bon dia all. Looking forward to a great week. Blessed with positivity. Absolutely, Capricorn 12. Blessings and abundance to all. Looking forward to visit Praia Naturista 19. Oh, I say, says Colin. Not sure Portugal is ready for us in the all together. Do you have a view on this? Not literally, Gilda. The naturism, is it big? I was going to say, is it big in Portugal? I'll let Colin answer that. But how is the naturism scene here in Portugal? Alive and well?
Well, Portuguese, as you know, they are very shy and very conservative. But I know that there are some beaches and communities that welcome naturist people. But
nakedness.
Yeah, okay. but for Portuguese, I must say, Colin, we Portuguese are not very into that.
Yes, a woolen all-in-one bathing suit is the preferable garment, I think. Down to the knees and up to the shoulders.
I don't even know what is Praia Naturista 19.
Well said. Well said. Me neither. I'm not going to own up to that either. Paul Richards, Carl, are you enjoying your last days of alcohol? Yeah, I am. Not in an extreme way.
What is that, Carl? I don't know. I'm not aware of that.
You look quite concerned as well, Gilda, I have to say. I'm having a dry year. Not that I'm giving up drinking.
Dry year.
Yes, this is as well as naturism not being big in Portugal. The idea of not drinking for a year in Portugal is quite unusual as well, isn't it?
Yes, it's very unusual.
You look really bemused by that.
It might not be healthy.
That's so brilliant. Do you think I should go and see a doctor about this urge that I've got to not drink for a year? Okay, I'll seek medical advice. Urgently. Brilliant. Regarding D6 for a US 17-year-old, will my son need to enroll in college at 18? I'm so glad you understand. I'm so glad you understand these.
He does.
Okay.
Yes, he does. For the old family reunion process, when people are over 18, they need to prove that they are still dependent from the parents and studying. Okay, excellent. Thank you for that, Gilda, for Khadija there up in the north. This is an interesting name. Why do people do this to me? Aquilino Cadarable. I'm going to go with there. Any news about the new biometric cards? Since the beginning of the year, they've been waiting here. This is in a domestic business, isn't it, for people who went online with their residencia, their paper residencia, and started the process of getting a biometric. I assume this is about the British. I think it is. Yeah, it is. It's about no news at all. I'm sorry.
So just, do what you can. Basically, you've just got to show willing, haven't they, and keep trying.
They are now making a new paper with the QR code. I don't know if you have that already. That allows you to travel for the ins and outs. But for the card, I think, my opinion, I'm not sure if that's what's happening. As they are moving so many services from the CEF, which is no longer CEF, to other services as the national register. I think that this is one of the services that they are trying to relocate to another place, but they didn't find the right fit yet.
Okay, so you may be talking to an Indian call center. Who knows? Before long. That seems to be what's going on. So SEF are sort of devolving and expanding, aren't they, and changing their structure.
Yes.
And now possibly isn't the best time to do that, is it? With the pandemic and Brexit.
And it's driving everyone crazy, Carl.
I bet.
We are our team. You know, the day is not me. We are around 25 people, and everyone is exhausted because I'm going to give you an example. For people that arrived in the meanwhile, there are no vacancy for family reunion appointments in SEF. It's going to be the second month now. So
Wow.
this creates lots of anxiety. We have many clients that are here with the spouses, with the kids, and they want to have an appointment to keep their lives going. To sometimes in schools, they ask for the appointment. If they want to go to the doctor, they ask for the appointment. And there is no appointment. For almost 2 months now, there are no appointments for family reunion. And it's driving everyone crazy.
So as you can hear there, Gilda and her team are doing their utmost best in rather challenging circumstances. I mean, that's the situation for so many people around the world. Okay, these are tough times, and you're obviously wanting, many of you tuned in here, wanting to relocate. We're doing our utmost best to make this work for you, up against some quite difficult circumstances, as you can hear. I don't know whether I need to go into the AE offices and tell a few jokes maybe, and I don't know, take wine. Even though I'm not going to be drinking myself, I probably need to go in, don't I, with a picnic and every now and then.
What are you going to do with the wine club?
It's finished. It's retired at 50 wines. You seem really concerned, and I'm very touched by this. But maybe I need to send the wine I'm not drinking to the team to keep their spirits up, literally. But this, yes, we're on top of it. We're all over it, as it were, against these difficult circumstances. We are putting our collective, this is Expats Portugal and AIM Assessoria Migrante, shoulders to the pump, I think is the expression here. So rest assured, we're doing everything we can to push against what might be some difficult circumstances. Jacqueline Branco is here as well this morning. Good morning. Not able to listen to the morning show. Have a great Monday. Well, thanks for popping in just to say that, Jacqueline. Appreciate it. And thank you for all your wonderful work around the Silver Coast area that I become more and more aware of as each day passes. Last one, Jim's getting some value this morning, isn't he? For accommodation, are Airbnb/hotels allowed? I think I know the answer to this one. It seems to change. And what is the minimum length we need to show? Thank you. So I don't think Airbnbs and hotels are allowed. You need a proper contract of tenancy for up to a year, at least 6 months and up to a year. Am I right, Gilda?
You're right. You got that
right. Yes. Okay, fantastic. Glad to be of help there. Chris Tully is here as well. Bon dia from a hot and sunny Dubai. I tell you, it's warm in here. I'm going to have to get some aircon or a fan going in the studio. You might be able to see my the slight glow on me, as I think people would say in a posh way, rather than saying breaking out in a sweat. Bon dia from Georgie George as well. And Winnie, thank you for that. Morning from Keith Saunders. Whoop, whoop, says Phil. I don't think that's just a random whoop, whoop. That's about being able to pick up the knee from the back. You see how much pleasure you give to people? Ray Thompson, are the SEF getting in touch with us to get our new residency cars 2021? Possibly is the answer to that, Ray, when they've sorted out their own internal affairs by the sound of it, right?
I don't think SEF will get in touch.
You got to keep pushing them.
Yeah.
Keep pushing. And just do it by email, or if you make a phone call, write down when you've made the phone call. You've got to keep the paper trail to show that you've made an effort. It's really important, would be my advice with any of these things. Okay. That's why email's good, because it's not so easy with a phone call.
But if it's a renewal, I didn't get the question right, but I think he was talking about a renewal. If it is a renewal, he needs to register. There is a proper place in the internet, in the SEF website, there he needs to make a registration to make the renewal.
Okay, all right. I know I've only got you for a few more minutes here. Good morning from Lincolnshire, UK, listening while I walk the dog and starting my research on a move to Portugal. Good choice, Sarah. Absolutely. Virginia last night. Hey, Virginia. Hola, bon dia, alegria, todos de California. On our first reconnaissance. trip. I got that right in the end. To decide where to live in Portugal. Is it a good idea to get a bank account on that first trip and apply for a NIF? You can't do that soon enough, really, can you? Get your bank account and get your NIF for sure, right?
Yes, that they can do it, and it's 2 steps that they are already done. So when they decide to go and move to the visa,
Yep. All right.
many
Ron
people are doing that.
Okay. Will time we spend traveling the EU countries towards our 6-month stay requirement for? Oh, Ron's saying so. I don't think you can aggregate the time you spend in other EU countries, can you, for the 6-month stay requirement for the D7 visa, or have I misinterpreted that?
Yeah, according to the law, no.
Okay.
You cannot. But knowing that it's going to be very difficult to keep a track if you are like in Spain and not in Portugal. But you need to be aware, because when you go for the renewal and they ask you for the bank statements and they see that there are lots of movements outside Portugal, they can ask you further questions and further proofs that you stayed in Portugal for the minimum period.
There you go, Ron. Excellent. Waiting for biometric cards, says Max. Morning, Max. Well, if it takes as long as a driving license exchange, it could be years. Another happy another happy customer there. Khadija Anderson. Yikes! Glad I asked about family reunification. Thanks for the warning. A pleasure. That's why we're here every Monday morning with Gilda. Send any ginger to me, Carl. No way. Oh, I see. Yeah, because I'm stopping drinking. I forgot that. You caught me out. All right. No, I'm not going to do that, you lot. I'm not going to carry on buying my usual supplies and then sending them all out to all and sundry. It's a year off. Bon dia, Carl and Gilda. Just wanted to say hi and have a great day.
Oh, Tim, everything went well last week?
There you go.
I was out of the office, so I was going to send an email today to Tim to check on how it went.
Looks like you already know each other.
Yeah.
Okay, no need for introductions there. Yes, of course. B, I have a meeting with you on July the 9th. Looking forward to it. Fantastic. Brits, is this back to Naturism? Brits and other non-EU are allowed to be in the EU for less than 90 days in 6 months. Does applying for residency halt the clock on the 90 days?
I'm not sure I understand the question, but yes, applying for the residence, you need to be outside the country. So
yeah. Okay. Mike Campion, thanks for the new clarification. Is there a link to the new Portugal plan service on the Expats Portugal website? No, drop me a line. I will talk to you via email on that, because I'm going to have to close it. We can't take any more people, I don't think, which I hate to say, or we need to find a way of managing more people, okay, which we are in the process of doing almost as I speak. And I'm just putting my email address in there for you, Mike. So it's on the screen for you, carl@expatsportugal.com. Get in touch. Hi, Carl. Hi, Gilda. Very good morning, all. Hey, Nuno. Great to hear from you. Bon dia from an overcast Porto. From Namaste, Dave. Looking forward to our first SCF appointment this Friday in Braga. Fantastic. Hank. Well, he's in Frankfurt, Germany. Fantastic. Hank is here. We'll be in Lisbon within hours. That's fantastic.
Yeah,
almost here. It was an experience, says Tim. That's a good thing. Bon dia, Carl. How are you? Great. Thank you, Edmundo. And okay, Carl, cheers from Mike. Okay, so before you go, we got to look at your lovely pictures. Let's have a look at them now. I'm going to save what I think is the best one till last. This one I'm going to put on first, because this is I don't want to see this sort of thing in a couple of days' time. This is the Kingfisher or the Gardariosh wine. Why have you sent me a picture of a bottle of wine? Just to taunt me?
First of all, I thought you were drinking wine, and I know that you chose Guarda-Rios for one of your wine club.
It was good.
It's a wine that I like. It was a very hot day, so that the wine wouldn't get much hotter. We put it on the river, and it's like a kind of joke, because the bottle is taking care of the river, which is the name of the wine itself.
Very good. I see what you did there. I like that. And a little bit of green algae can be good for you, apparently, but it probably needs to be treated and pasteurized first. Okay, this beauty here. You're such a good photographer, Gilda. I know you say it's my eyes rather than your photography. And you do have a good subject, to be fair, the Alentejo. Where is this beautiful place?
Okay, this is an amazing experience for people that are coming to Portugal. It's not a very touristic and It's not announced in many places, but this is a very good experience. This is in Barragem do Alqueva, in Alentejo, okay?
Yeah.
And you can actually rent one of these boats like you have in the picture.
What fun. Beautiful.
Yeah. You can rent. You don't need to have a license to drive these boats because remember that this is an albufeira. I don't know the name in English.
Yes.
So it's like a lake. It's closed. You cannot run away.
Okay.
And these boats are very slow. They go very slow. And you can stop them in places like this. We stopped here to have lunch, and you can stop to sleep over also.
Oh,
and you
my
can
goodness.
jump. Yeah, it was amazing. You can jump and then you have the stairs. You see, you can climb there.
Yes,
And
I
you
think
find
so.
lots of places like this.
Oh, I see.
Along
You've gone up the boardwalk just to take that photo. Fantastic. So that's what an
Yes.
albufeira means, a lake or a lagoon, I guess. Then, fantastic. Is this from the same visit? Looks like it might be. Beautiful
Yes, it's
picture.
from the same visit, but a different place. This was we were going to evening, almost to have dinner, preparing things to have dinner, and there were lots of birds around.
Beautiful picture. Beautiful competition winner, that one. And there's a dog saying hello to you from an Alentejo doorway. That's such a Portuguese picture, isn't it?
Yes, this is when we went out for a cup of coffee, but everything was closed, and the only alive thing that we saw in this little town was this dog at the door.
Do you know, I think
Nothing
Portuguese
else.
people are so hospitable that if you'd knocked on the door and said, look, we can't get coffee anywhere, they'd have probably made you a coffee, right?
Yeah, they would.
I suspect so. That's a beautiful picture. And then finally, before we say goodbye to you this morning, the sun setting on this wonderful lake lagoon here. And that's from the same series, is it?
Yeah, it was all about the weekend and being in Alentejo with the boat. Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful. People will want to know what it's called again, Gilda. What's the name of that area?
It's the place where you can find the boat is called Amieira.
Amieira. Okay. That's very good of you to tell us, actually, because that could be a well-kept secret, but you've spilled the beans this morning.
Yes, it is a well-kept secret, even for Portuguese.
Not anymore. Not anymore. Gilda, thank you so much for all your photography and your answers this morning on the visa update on the Good Morning Portugal show. Have a great week. Speak to you soon.
Yeah, thank you. Have a great week. Bye-bye.
Ciao, ciao. Beijinhos, abrazos.
Bye.
Ciao, ciao.
Ciao.
There she goes, Gilda Pereira, everybody, of Asesoria Migrant. I think I've got it right how I pronounce it now. EI, with an exclamation mark, if you're looking for that. And I will just put a link to Gilda in the comments so that you can find her. And I think, you know what, there are going to be more questions for Gilda, but she's a busy woman. She's got to go do some work. She's got to go and work on these visas. So let's go see what's going on. I've put the link to the company in the comments, and let's see what people are saying. I'll log out so you can take some more people. Crazy, huh, this morning? Lee McGrady, good morning. Andrew, get in touch. Get in touch. Thanks so much, Gilda, from Jim. Morning, guys. I landed last night. This is from, I don't know who's saying that to who anymore, but it's lovely that you're all speaking to each other. Fantastic. Alqueva, still remember the area with without the dam. Definitely improvement. Okay, so that's in the Alentejo there. Aren't they lovely photos? Isn't she a gifted photographer, everybody? Andy, bon dia. Hey, Andy, via Austin, to see so many new people coming to experience this fantastic country. I'm going to tell you a bit more about migration into Portugal. I was hoping to talk to Gilda about that, but the time whizzes by so quickly. A bon dia from Will and Gary. Peace and mist. Rain in the mountain valley. Happy birthday, Owen. Good party. Lovely evening, Jenny. The dog had a great time too. Isn't that lovely? I'm so glad to hear from Central Portugal that a good time was had by all yesterday, and belated birthday best wishes to you, Owen, on Independence Day. And I hope everyone, had a great Independence Day yesterday as well. All our American friends here. What did you get up to? How do you, is it a barbecue? Or is that just how I see the world now? With every celebration, just get the barbecue going. How did you enjoy your Independence Day? This very specially poignant, I think, Independence Day for many people in America. Gilda's boat rental suggestion looks good. Thanks to you both for a super broadcast. It's our pleasure, Max. Good to have you on the show this morning. It is a dam, says. Is that what an albufeira is? Because there is the place, of course, called Albufeira, but there is the Lagoa de Albufeira, which is that's not the same one that she's talking about. Is it the one that Lee went to at the weekend? We've got to get to the bottom of this. So is an Albufeira a dam? I thought that was a barragem, Maxine. Is there a contact for Gilda at EI Migrant? Yes, there is, Margarita. Look, I've put that in the comments for you there. And Deborah Davies is here. Hello, Deborah. Hello, everyone, she is saying. And we escaped from the US. Thanks. There's your celebration of Independence Day yesterday, possibly then independent from the motherland there, Khadija. Right. So what I wanted to do actually is just tell you about a bit more about migration, and then if you what occurred to me, you know how I keep trying to talk about the news in Portugal and how that might be a good talking point. You often save me from the gloom and doom by keeping the conversation going in the comments. And that's far more interesting. And then occasionally people will jump on a show because they want to talk, which is so much better. And isn't it great when we have guests rather than talk about the news? But I just have this, maybe it's redundant now, but I have this kind of, what's it called? Vestigial, is it? Like an appendix? Why do we have them? Is it just to trap apple seeds? But this vestigial idea, possibly, that we might look at the news, at the doom and gloom, as it were, just to keep in touch with what's going on in the world. Is that just a kind of sort of typically male thing of wanting to watch the boundary, and the male or the human fascination for bad news, just to see what's going on, and so we can prepare and protect ourselves? I'm fine not looking at the gloom and doom, and also I still do it. You know, it's a funny thing. So tell me. If you want to do that, I like looking at the Portugal Resident. I do like a bit of Natasha Don reporting as well. Happy to look at the Portugal news as well. I think that's the more established Portuguese, English-speaking Portuguese newspaper. But I mean, send me your news. Tell me what you're up to. Tell me how you celebrated Independence Day yesterday, if you're American. Even if you're not and you still celebrated it, tell me what you're up to this week. Tell me what your plans are. And we have got a very busy week coming up because the first cohort of the cohort of the first beta group of the Expats Portugal plan are going to be meeting up, and what fun that's going to be to have people together in that same process. James is here as well. Morning, bon dia from a wet overnight Skipton, West Yorkshire. Now sunny but chilly. Yes, I hear it's going to be quite rainy in UK this week, which is interesting. It's a big day Wednesday. It's my birthday on Wednesday, but it's also, of course, when England played Denmark. When they beat Denmark to go to have football coming home and go to meet Italy in the final. Now, that's a bold assertion, isn't it? But wouldn't that be great? But I think the weather might be a bit grim. And can they close the lid on Wembley sufficiently so that the rain doesn't have a problem? So we're getting a few responses on how Independence Day was celebrated. Thank you very much, Donna from Terceira this morning. The Terceira Expats group had a well-attended July 4th potluck party. So there you go. If you didn't know, there is a Terceira Expats group. That's good to know, Donna. As today is my birthday, I received a happy birthday song from the group last night. That's lovely. So I hope it was a bit of parabéns a você in there as well, Donna. That's lovely. Belated birthday best to you, Donna. I hope you had a great week. Sounds like you did have a fantastic time yesterday. Wonderful. And is there a special way of celebrating birthdays in Madeira? A great big fruit platter. Talking of fruit, many thanks to Donna Grassa. I meant to show you a picture of Donna Grassa this morning. Bear with me while I load it up because you've got to see this. Homesteaders among us who tend to meet on a Monday, not this evening, the first Monday. The Fresh Air team like to have a bit of a review and consider, the way forward. And so the gardening Q&A tonight, excuse me, too much shouting at the weekend. The gardening Q&A will not happen tonight. We're back next Monday at 6:15 with head gardener McGrady, who you can see here. Yes, I've got a lovely picture of Donna Grassa. Went to collect the chickens yesterday. Our chickens have been looked after by Donna Grassa, and I went to see her, and she gave us beautiful figs from the tree. She gave us pears and plums as well. Absolutely beautiful. And if I can bring up a picture of her to show you, this is the amazing instrument that she got out to pick pears with. And while she was doing it, I thought, this woman looks like Queen Grassa, I have to say. So let me just download the picture for you now. I think it's, as well as Donna Grassa, she's Rania Grassa. And let's bring this picture up onto the screen so that you can see exactly what I'm talking about and see this device that she's got as well. So how do I do this? Oh, here we go. Just push that button there and then give a little bit of a click on that button there. And I'll be able to show you Queen Grassa of Anadia Aveiro. Here she is. Look at that. Isn't that a fantastic picture? And she got this device out, which you can see she's got in her right hand here. Apologies to the podcast people. Let me try and explain that to you. It is a galvanized funnel with a frilly kind of edge on it. And you stick it on the end of a broomstick. And you can make one of these yourself, really, with an old plastic bottle, really, is what she told me. But this is the real deal, which you could get from one of those fantastic Portuguese hardware shops that they seem to have even in the most cosmopolitan of places. You go to Lisbon, you go to the big city, and there's still an old-fashioned hardware shop somewhere in the town. And every town, every village seems to have one where you can buy all your household hardware and stuff. But you see there in her right hand, you just cup the pear on the tree. Because, you know, the pear tree can be quite big, as you can see behind her. There's a mixture of figs and pears growing there. You cup the pear gently in that device. I should have found out what it was called. Anyone Portuguese here, let us know what that's called so people can go and order this for themselves. And the serrated kind of frilly edge, you twist and turn it, and the pear then drops into the cup of that funnel safely so it doesn't get bruised. And as she was stood there, I was thinking this is like a scepter, isn't it? And an orb that she's got there. So a fresh pear from the tree, and her scepter in her right hand. Is that called a scepter? Queen Grassa of Anadia Aveiro there for you. Isn't that fantastic? And I would like to know what those things are called. So back to your comments. I had Jello to celebrate. Is that a traditional Thunder Duck by any chance? As long as it is true news without an agenda. That's going to be difficult, James. Is there really such a thing? Honestly? Don't all newspapers, news outlets. I mean, I've got an agenda. I'm not going to be, stupid enough to say I'm here with a completely objective and clear mind, for the purposes of passing on pure data and information, because that'd be boring as well, wouldn't it? Let's face it. And I guess it's a matter of degree, but let's discuss that, James. Give me a news source anywhere in the world that doesn't have an agenda of some kind. Signed up, says Connor. Yes, Connor, signed up to your move to Portugal plan. I know, excited to get started. Yes, I know you are, and I am too, Connor. I'm really looking forward to it, and I'm so delighted by the response that there's been. We're going to have, I think, it's going to be really bad timing not to have be drinking this year, because I think we could have a weekly celebration as we ease people towards Portugal. Could be a lot of fun, but you don't have to have booze to party, do you? Did you see the look on Gilda's face when I said I wasn't drinking for a year? It's like, what? Since you asked, I'm trying to find another English language news source more local to the north, if anyone knows. We live in constant mystery up here. I will stop now. I'll tell you what, Khadija, that is probably good in many ways. Enjoy it as well. There's an upside, isn't there, to living in constant mystery? I tell you, and I agree. I've said this before. Having the sort of social age of a 5-year-old in terms of the Portuguese political and news agenda is no bad thing, and it will come in time. Believe me, you will not be able to escape it as your Portuguese improves and you get more Portuguese friends. You will not be in constant mystery. You will be tinged by their views, I think, and opinions and judgments. So enjoy it while it lasts. I agree with you, Will. Natasha Dunn of the Portugal, or Don of the Portugal Resident, is a good reporter. She manages to knock out a lot of good content in a short space of time. That's the skill of being a journalist, isn't it? And let's face it, she has got an agenda. As I say, she has, the paper has, all news sources have an agenda. Let's be frank about that. That's how it is. But I like her agenda. Isn't that how we gravitate towards certain news sources? Because it kind of resonates. Or the opposite. It makes us so furious that we keep looking at it just to get another hit of drama. Being bad local floods in Scotland and other parts of the UK. I heard this. I heard about Edinburgh this morning, James, whilst listening to one of my favoured news sources, keeping in touch with what's going on in the UK, Talk Radio. I forgot a word, Jello shots. Okay, that's different. Thunder Duck, but I hope you had a great time. Yes, very American. We called friends in America and listened to the Declaration of Independence on National Public Radio on NPR. I've on occasion listened to NPR and really enjoyed that, Sarah. Thank you for letting us know, Sarah Yearman. What's Thunder Duck saying now? Plums. Thank you for that. Elrod, yesterday I found the Eco and Beyond YouTube channel and watched a couple of videos. Very entertaining. They are great, aren't they? It's one of the most popular interviews I've done, actually, is with them. Like watching a renovation or DIY program. Useful because we don't have TV. And isn't that the new TV, YouTube? I mean, I'm making that transition. My kids don't really watch terrestrial TV very much unless I impose it upon them. They are, even at a very young age, self-selecting, and I think it's a good thing, I have to say, but all in moderation, which I'm working on. Looks like I bought the UK weather with me. Well, thank you very much for that, Andrew. I am popping to Lisboa in just a moment. I haven't got time to stick around and have lunch with you, but I suspect you're busy anyway. Saturday, FaceTimed with my brother's wedding in the UK. Wow, that's the age we're living in, isn't it? That, like, people are having a live celebration, and there are cameras around, aren't they, so that others can join. Sunday, cycle to Mira Beach. That's a lovely beach. Put that on your list of lesser known attractions in Portugal. I love Mira. Then we were invited to compadre's daughter's birthday party in the Parque de Morendas and had lashings of suckling pig and beers and bubbles. Espumante to go with the suckling pig. Sounds great. I was up there again, Andy, picking the chickens up yesterday, and the bairrada looked good, smelt good, and driving through Korea was so nice to be there again. Looking beautiful. No wonder you enjoyed it yesterday. Beautiful day, wasn't it? Andy just messaged EI Migrant, motivated to sort things out ASAP. He's hit the ground running. How did I miss this service at migration? I don't know, Phil. I've talked about it on Friday, released the video. It might work for you. Let me know. Just drop me a line, carl@expatsportugal.com. On the matter of migration, I want to share these facts with you now, okay? And I'm going to read through this slowly, if only for my own benefit. And we will finish at 10 today, so we'll probably go to the Portugal news and give you a taste of Natasha Don's reporting, see what's going on with the COVID response, or the pandemic response as of 2019. Actually, I'm going to have a sip of water before I read you these statistics, because you need to get your brain in shape for statistics, don't you, sometimes? And I need to get my voice in shape too. Bear with me. Oh, that's nice. Okay, so back to Wikipedia. I'm reading from Wikipedia. Again, is there an agenda with Wikipedia? There's still an agenda at Wikipedia, isn't there? Even though it endeavors to be, peer-to-peer, crowdsourced. Yeah, there's still an agenda here, isn't there? As of 2019, Portugal had 590,000 immigrants out of its 10,300,000 inhabitants, more or less, I suspect, an increase of almost 23% from 2018. This is what's going on, folks. I find this fascinating. So as of 2019, Portugal had 590,000 immigrants out of 10,300,000 inhabitants, and that's up nearly a quarter from the year before. That's extraordinary, isn't it? And what is that? That is 1 in 20 people is an immigrant in Portugal, and I take that as a good sign that Portugal is very, and we have to bring some sort of sense of awareness and what would it be? Sensitivity, right? With 1 in 20 people being an immigrant, it kind of behoves, and that's the word I like to use from time to time. It does behove us immigrants to have that sensitivity, doesn't it? Given that there are so many of us and so many more arriving, it would seem, a sensitivity towards fitting in and being aware of this, it's not just us, is it? It's not just us, the individual or our family. We are part of quite an influx of people. Up nearly a quarter from the year before. That's of 2019. With the COVID-19 pandemic, that number went up to 661,000 at the end of 2020. And I don't know how that's connected, with the COVID-19 pandemic. Is that causal or is that coincidental? But anyway, the number of immigrants went up from 590,000 to 661,000 at the end of 2020. Spinning back to 2007, Portugal had 10,617,575 inhabitants. So that's a drop of 300,000 in the population. Interestingly, so the population's dropping, and it was 10 million, over 10.5 million, 10,600,000 plus in 2007, of whom 332,000, more or less, or 3.13% were legal immigrants, and they were balanced as 51.7 female, 48.3% male. So it's in favor of female migration as well. Now, fast forward 10 years from 2007, Portugal had 416,682 legal residents of foreign origin, of which 203,753 identified as male and 212,929 as female. So again, more female immigrants coming in. But that's quite a rise, isn't it? Another 100,000 in those 10 years. And according to Wikipedia, and this I didn't realize, you kind of tend to see the world through your own sort of lens and context, don't you? I'm part of the Brit invasion, if you like. And I would identify alongside, Americans and other Europeans and United Kingdom folks. But immigrants to Portugal include Brazilians, Ukrainians, Moldovans, Romanians, Russians, Asians, and Africans, it would appear, as the primary groups of migrants there. So let me just give that, if you are interested in that, and I think it's fascinating, and I would emphasize the need for sensitivity, given such great numbers of us coming to this amazing country. And there it is. There's the Wikipedia link for you. Still, excuse me. Going back to your comments before, we do have a quick look at the the news. How did I miss migration, Phil? Mike Shaw, watching from Ireland. Good morning to you. Top of the morning to you. Mike Shaw, how are you doing? Elra, I guess channels like yours help spread the word. Absolutely. Before, people were going to other countries, but now they have a lot more info on Portugal. That was my story, Elra. I mean, I was thinking of going to France or Spain. And basically, I like many other people, we just feel the reception is better in Portugal for all sorts of reasons. Will Thompson says, Wiki has been invaluable in its design with the public knowledge accumulation. It is a perfect learning tool. Yet all too often we have seen the agenda step in and willfully change the reality to conform to the narrative. So there you go. Humans and agenda go hand in hand, don't they? Such a shame. Many heroes have been reputationally damaged in this way. Read everything with a suspecting mind. Read between the lines and follow the money, is Will Thompson's suggestion there. Carl, says Thunderduck. Thunder. I don't know what to say. But I imagine there's a little bit missing from that, but fair enough. If you just wanted to utter my name, feel free. Okay. Ad removed details. Why is this ad used too many resources for your device, so Chrome removed it? Not because I had put a ban on erectile dysfunction advertising coming up via Google. And I won't say any more about that. I'll just leave that hanging there, which is not a bad phrase to have used in this context. So let me share on the screen with you, Portugal resident, and you can have a look for yourself while I'm having a look here as we go up to 10 o'clock. There's the controversy surrounding the recent ministerial fatal car accident rolls on, and further intrigue has been brought into this particular news item. A ministerial car involved in fatal accident belonged to a drug dealer. Good heavens, right. Okay, but that's not the sort of news I want to share with you. I want to share the sort of bigger stories, bigger news features here that will affect you and your efforts to come here. Or if you're already here, will affect expat life. So let's have a look at the headlines and see which one we might want to look at. Finance Minister, I'll just give you the headlines. Finance Minister says uncertainty in tourism is being compensated by other sectors. That was from the 2nd of July. We'll come back to that if we don't see anything more interesting, because I think that's quite good, the diversification of the economy here in Portugal. Hundreds of flamingos hatch in Algarve, a first for Portugal. I think we should look at that. That was an Independence Day story from yesterday, coincidentally. Portugal planned to thwart is a good word, thwart spread of Delta, including vaccinating 850,000 people per week and there's a picture of loads of people sat on what look like plastic chairs at a wedding reception. Okay, that's a vaccination waiting room. By the look of it. 5 armed GNR agents removed child from mother over refusal to wear a mask at school. I did look into that article last week, and there's a bit of a backstory there, as you'd imagine. Worsening COVID situation in Algarve doesn't put people off going to beaches. Well, I'm glad about that in many ways. I'm sure we can responsibly look after our own and others' health and still go to the beach. That must be the case, right? Health chiefs decide Portugal's mums-to-be can be vaccinated against COVID-19 towards end of second trimester there. Okay, and other news headlines. Before we look at the flamingos and the diversification of the economy, let's have a look. Mayo's Sudeste forced to cancel this year's festival. Okay, so another festival casualty there. Joe Berardo freed on 5 million bail. Don't know who that is, but they must be quite a significant figure if you have 5 million euros for your bail payment. Portugal nurses sound alert, 20,000 more are needed. That's quite a shortfall, folks. And Portugal, so there you go. Coming to Portugal as a nurse might be quite a good idea if you're looking for work here and that you're trained in that way. Portugal receives first check from EU's bazooka. Now, how I would like to see that, frankly, is literally a bazooka full of euros. And you could arguably say, couldn't you, that a bazooka firing euros onto the population would be a better spend of money than it being filtered via the government. But that's just the cynical side of me talking. Let's finish with flamingos, but first go to the finance minister who says uncertainty in tourism is being compensated by other sectors. I think this is an interesting thing to look at if it will indeed load up, which I think it is doing now. So let's have a look what this gentleman is saying. Finance Minister João Leão has said this week that the uncertainty associated with tourism is being compensated by other sectors of the national economy that are showing better results than in 2019. Excellent news. These declarations were made at the Recovery Summit held in Belém Cultural Centre in Lisbon, closing the Portuguese presidency of the Council of the European Union. Okay, yeah, that baton has been handed on now, hasn't it? Where's it gone? It's gone to somewhere that I didn't even realise was in the EU, forgive me. Said Mr. Leão, latest indicators are very positive in bunny ears. He particularly highlighted the construction sector, which has developed very well to the point that it has become very important for the stabilization of the economy. Consumption of cement. Don't do that at home, folks. Consumption of cement is increasing year on year and at levels well above the pre-pandemic period. Okay, we need to balance that up with a bit of wooden cabin action as well, don't we? Cement, dreadful stuff. But anyway, consumption of cement is increasing year on year and at levels well above the pre-pandemic period, which shows the construction sector is evolving and has finance and demand. It has a positive dynamic. Excellent. Tourism, on the other hand, showed a great deal of promise back in May and has now slipped back markedly due to uncertainty associated with the evolution of the pandemic. Mr. Leão admitted the greatest uncertainty over the degree of recovery likely stems from the dilemma Portugal is facing with international tourists. Absolutely right. He seemed to suggest that the next few weeks might bring better news. We'll see about that, won't we? The rest of his discourse centered on the impacts envisaged from the European-backed plan for recovery and resilience and the much touted and aforementioned bazooka of grant funding. That's what it's really about, folks. A bazooka. They're building it up, aren't they? And we showered in euros. There are certain dimensions of the plan that have more immediate effects, he said. The government has announced some of these plans, for example, in the area of renewable energies. Okay, that's predictable, isn't it? They are plans we can put rapidly at work with support for families and for businesses to invest in. On the other hand, there are other more significant, more substantial plans that will be gradually taking effect. Not giving too much away there, but sustainables, construction, certainly. In all, João Leão is working towards a 4% growth of the economy this year, which is above the forecast in the stability program, but below the predictions he made for 5% in the interview with Lusa in May. Pull back 1% there. But I mean, fair play to Portugal and that sort of optimism when the world is in the pandemic recovery. The EU's excessive debt procedure has been suspended due to the pandemic until 2022. So a bit of breathing space there. Kick down the street, you might say, ostensibly giving countries breathing space to recover before more rigid rules come back in place on payment of EU loans, I suspect, and subsidies. So there you go. Nice one. João Leon, who there is answering the question, how big was that fish you caught, Mr. Leon? About that big. Okay, so let's go to finally. This is a real and finally story, isn't it? The flamingos, hundreds of them hatching in the Algarve, a first for Portugal. What beautiful note to end on here as we go up to 10 o'clock. Hundreds of flamingos have hatched in the Algarve for the first time in Portugal, and it may be thanks to the pandemic. What? Explain conservationist. This is a Natasha Don. I can tell the way she writes. This is a Natasha Don story. Explain conservationist. The reduction in human pressure on wetland areas around Castro Marí and Villarreal de Santo Antonio may have been all that the birds needed. Around 800 flamingos, Latin name, Phenicopterus roseus, of course, the pink phenicopter, or the pink phoenix, I suppose, reside in this eastern corner of the Algarve. But this year, they've been joined by a great deal more. The drought in Spain could have something to do with it. Those who understand these birds seem more inclined to believe the pandemic has been the overriding reason. The marshlands have simply been less visited by people. Oh, okay, that's a sort of chilling reminder, isn't it, to stay away and let the birds get on with it. Nature and forestry guards held their breaths. The same had happened in the 1980s and in 2010, but with no results. But this time has been different. Hundreds of little grey shapes started appearing last month, almost camouflaged by the mudflats on which they hatch. It's nature's design, isn't it? The little fledglings need to be grey and blend in before they become their magnificent pink selves, but definitely fledgling flamingos. Now focus is on ensuring they develop and thrive. How lovely! Visitors to the area are asked to take great care where they walk, as flamingos nest on the ground, and a careless step could destroy a promising development in the Algarve's natural history. Well, come on, we need to just put a cordon around that, don't we? Can't have people wandering about with their sandwiches and flasks whilst little baby flamingos are trying to get their start in life. Anyway, that's fantastic, isn't it? Hundreds of baby flamingos in the Algarve. Marvellous. Okay, last few comments as we go up to 10 o'clock. Carl thundered. Here's the rest of the comment. Carl's channel led me to the forum, which led me to EI, and now I'm here in Lisbon. Well, guilty as charged, and I hope you continue to be as pleased as that. It's just loads more comments that have come in, and the apostrophe is too close to the enter button. Oh, I see. Yeah, no worries. I got the gist. Carl, there is a reason why Portuguese nurses go to the UK for work. Yes, of course. Absolutely. But that's going to change, I think. They're only getting their 1% rise in the UK, aren't they? Maybe it's just going to get better for them to come back. I actually think more Portuguese people are coming home. Portuguese people coming home. They're coming home. What about that lady, Carmen Holm, on Facebook? Did you see that? Carmen Holm has been getting lots of friend requests from football fans. Tourism spreads the money. Cement construction funnels it to the few. Nothing good about that news, sadly. Thank you, Will. Might build bamboo wind turbines that funnel and condense damp air underground for fresh water as a thing next, since water is the next thing. Yes, Will, do it. Sandwiches and flasks, lol. Well, that's how you can imagine, a couple of oldie giffers, possibly from the UK, in their rather nice and sensible Ford vehicle, pulling up in the Algarve there. Get a couple of those chairs out with the wire frames that collapse, that fold up and trap your fingers. Open those out. Get the little picnic hamper out. A small one, probably, what do you Americans call it? Plaid or tartan covered. Thermos flask in there that smells of the tea and coffee of 20 years and is slightly discolored, and you take it in turns, unless they've managed to have the foresight to take a second cup with them. And yes, get out their curly sandwiches wrapped in cling film, a bit sweaty in the Algarve heat, a nice ham sandwich. Gary, finally, big thanks to Owen, Jenny, and the rest of the guys for a lovely evening. How super. Lots of love to you all. Gary, to Will, to Owen, to Jenny, and I hope you all had a super time. Sounds like you did over there in Central Portugal. Thanks all. Must hot foot it to Lisboa now. The hire cars got very expensive. It's got to go back. Ciao, ciao. Teja. Hasta logo. Abrazos. Beijinhos. We'll see you tomorrow. Take great care. No gardening Q&A tonight, but we'll be back in the morning. See you then. Bye.